All right, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Griffin here with the National Weather Service office in Cleveland. We thought we would do a little Facebook Live this evening with you on the threat of severe weather that's going to happen later on tonight and the very windy conditions that we're expecting tomorrow that may have some significant impacts to portions of the area. We'll talk about that in just a second. So just first off, we'll allow people to hop online here, and hopefully the audio is working. If anyone can tell me if the audio sounds okay and the video looks okay, that would be very helpful. We haven't done this in a long time, and we thought this would be a good occasion to do this because it's such a unusual event that's going to be happening over the next 24 to 36 hours. So looks like, oh, hey, Jason, thanks for joining us. Hello, guys. Hey back. All right, so what I'm going to do for the next few minutes is show you some slides, some graphics, and then if you have any questions, feel free to put it in there. Hey, Vicky, thanks for joining us. And we'll go ahead and just talk about this kind of weather-weenie stuff, and if you got any other questions, hopefully we can answer those at the end of this. So again, I want to show you, if you haven't heard or if you haven't been kind of paying attention the past couple of days or haven't really noticed, that there's a big storm system is impacting much of the country. It's going to be impacting us starting late tonight and through the day tomorrow. This is a look at the satellite imagery right now, and a very impressive storm structure that's moving across the central United States right now, where they're having near blizzard conditions out in the high plains area, and winter storm warnings for heavy snow and a lot of wind from the central plain states all the way up into the upper Midwest. If you haven't stepped outside lately, you kind of notice we've warmed up a lot since yesterday. We were in the 30s yesterday, and we're now in the 50s, and we're going to be in the 60s later tonight into tomorrow morning. Record temperature territory. We're talking about near or breaking many records across the area first thing tomorrow morning with temperatures in the low to mid 60s, and we've put a post out about that earlier yesterday. So you can see the storm system here, relatively quiet right now, but we are going to get very active here after midnight tonight. Radar imagery across the area, you kind of see this kind of very comma-shaped swirl in the radar right there across the central plains and upper Midwest. That is a very strong aerial pressure that is actually rapidly strengthening, and it's going to be moving through the Great Lakes region late tonight into tomorrow and causing a lot of wind. Right now we have a little rain that's coming in from Indiana, a little light to moderate rain, but nothing overly heavy or severe at this time. What is severe or about to be severe is a major severe weather outbreak across the Mid-South, the lower Ohio Valley, Mississippi Valley area. They already have tornado watches out, and thunderstorms are rapidly developing in a very unstable atmosphere, and that unstable atmosphere is potentially going to come up into our region later on tonight and first thing tomorrow morning. So here's a look at the latest advisories, watches, warnings across the whole Ohio Valley region. I want to show you already tornado watches out to our southwest across parts of Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, down into the Mid-South. We may see some of that creep up into our region later on tonight. A lot of wind warnings and wind advisories and high wind warnings for us. We have the entire area is under a wind advisory for tomorrow, and we do have a high wind warning for our lakeshore areas of Lake County, Ashtabula, and northern Erie County, where you can see winds 60 to 65 gusts by tomorrow. Very rough conditions expected on the lake. We have gale warnings and storm warnings, which is storm warnings are very rare. We don't do that very often for the Great Lakes, and we have some of those out there, especially toward Buffalo. Zoom in a little bit, show you the map here, and I'll zoom in just a little bit again. Everywhere across our region or our area has a wind advisory tomorrow with very gusty winds up to 50 miles an hour. If you're closer to the lake shore for Lake County, Ashtabula, and northern Erie County, you guys could see potentially over 60 miles per hour wind gusts tomorrow. So temperatures 53, and we're still climbing. We're going to climb all through the night, and we have 60s coming our way by first thing tomorrow morning. If you look down here, there's 70s, mid 70s down near Paducah and Memphis, Tennessee, and some of that's going to try to creep up into the lower Ohio Valley by tomorrow, but we'll be into the 60s by tomorrow morning, and that's very unusual for this time of year. So when you throw that type of warm, humid weather coming at us, and it's middle of December, expect Mother Nature to throw some fireworks at us, and we'll have fireworks tonight with stormy weather. and some bad weather. It's going to be a bad night for some folks across the lower Ohio Valley tonight. So this is a look at the SVC outlook for today or tonight, and looking at we have a marginal to slight risk across our western half of our area, western parts of our area, central Ohio, western Ohio. But look down into parts of the mid-south down near Paducah. They have a moderate risk, which is a higher end risk value for severe weather tonight. Could be a bad night for them with tornadoes later on tonight. So closer in, I wanted to show you the probabilities of some tornadoes for us. And looking at our probabilities, we have a 2 to 5% probability sneaking into our western parts of Ohio, northwestern Ohio. And we'll have to pay attention to the weather tonight, especially for folks that are west of I-71 or I-77. Really needs to pay attention to the weather tonight, because there could be some wind and the risk for some isolated tornadoes late tonight and first thing tomorrow morning. As we go into tomorrow, the front's still going to clear through the area about midday, so we do have a marginal risk for severe weather, more potential for some damaging wind gusts. Can't rule out an isolated tornado as the front comes through sometime late morning or midday tomorrow. So again, it's not going to be a real quick, it's going to be quick, but it's not going to be one and done type of situation. We're going to have multiple rounds of potentially some severe storms pushing through the area. One after midnight tonight between about 2 to 6 a.m. and then potentially another round sometime late tomorrow morning with the actual cold front late tomorrow morning through the midday hours. So I'm going to go through and show you some of these models real quickly. This is the HRRR, I believe. Let me look. Yeah, this is the HRRR, the HRRR. And so I'm going to show you two different setups. We kind of look at everything, but this we think is doing a pretty good job on how things are going to evolve through the night tonight. So I'm going to back it up to about right now, 6 p.m., almost 6 p.m. So we've got that rain moving in from Indiana. Nothing to worry about between now and midnight tonight. So nothing to worry about. So by 11 to midnight, we have thunderstorms starting to move in across the Mansfield area into central Ohio, northwest Ohio. That's actually with the warm front. That's the surge of warmer air pushing into Ohio tonight around midnight tonight. So it's going to get windy and it's going to get much warmer in the middle of the night. So that's the surge of warm tropical air coming in from the south, southwest. We'll have to watch it. It's going to be elevated. We call elevated storms, but we'll watch those. We're really concerned about the storms behind the warm front and the warm sector after midnight through tomorrow morning. You see these individual cells that are kind of coming through 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. These are going to be spinning. They might be spinning in the mid-levels, or they could, some of that spin could try to reach down to the ground. So we'll have to see if some of that energy does reach down to the ground and causes the threat for isolated tornadoes. But you can see it's going to be a stormy night, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then that's where the, let me go back to hit the button too much there. All right. So that's the end of this loop right here. I'm going to show you another model that goes even further. So that was a triple R. It's going to be very stormy in the morning. So this is the NAM, 3 kilometer NAM. So we're going to do the same time frame, has a general same idea. As we go through the night, warm front comes through, and then after midnight, things really kind of bubble up in the warm sector. We have these multiple rounds of storms coming through, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And look at this. Here's the actual cold front that comes in later tomorrow morning. You see storms ahead of the cold front. Any storm that's discrete ahead of the cold front tomorrow morning, we will have to watch very closely for the potential of damaging wind gusts and isolated tornado threat. As the cold front moves through 9 a.m., here it is right along the I-75 corridor, pushing eastward. At about 10 to 11 a.m., it's right along the I-71 corridor. And then by noon, it's probably just east of 77 by then, affecting extreme eastern Ohio into northwest Pennsylvania. So that's the actual cold front pushing through, and we'll have to watch for the severe weather threat continuing through the middle of the night tonight all the way up to about noon tomorrow, and then it's out of here. But we're not done yet with the storm. The storm is just now start cranking, so the winds are going to start cranking really hard. And I also want to show you this real quick. As the cold front moves through, it will probably be in the mid-60s when you wake up tomorrow morning. By the end of the afternoon, it will be through the 40s, probably in the 30s. By tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, we have snow showers wrapping in by Toledo. So let me back that up. 8 o'clock in the morning, here we go. 8 o'clock in the morning, Toledo, Findlay, you guys are going to be seeing some stormy weather ahead of the cold front, mid-60s. By 4 p.m. in the afternoon, there could be snow showers in the Toledo area. And then by 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, we have a little lake effect snow coming in tomorrow evening from the Cleveland area up to Erie, PA. So that's how dramatic the storm system is, where we go from mid-60s in the morning to mid-30s in the evening and snow showers coming off the lake. That's a dramatic swing of temperatures in just 12 hours. Want to show you the wind real quick. Here we go for tonight. So the winds are going to start cranking out of the south, really gusty. So after midnight tonight, we're talking gusts 25, 30, 35 miles an hour potentially, and then just continue to get a little stronger as that warm front pushes through tomorrow morning. The low-level jet kicks in tomorrow morning about 3 a.m. so we may see gusts 30, 35 miles an hour in the middle of the night. Things are rattling around a little bit. 40 miles an hour can't be ruled out right here. But that's not the strongest winds. That's a kind of a surge of stronger winds ahead of the cold front. As the cold front comes through tomorrow morning, you'll see this dramatic shift. The winds will come out of southwest and then west behind the front tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. And we're talking wind gusts easily across the entire area, 45 to 50 miles an hour in the wind advisory area. If you're in the high wind warning area, which is Lake, northern Ashtabula, northern Erie, PA County, you're talking about winds closer to 60, 65 miles an hour, and just offshore into the lake, possibly winds of over 70 miles an hour over Lake Erie tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to be a very blustery, windy day. Expect some trees to fall down, some power lines to fall down, maybe some power poles. Power outages is probably going to happen with this type of wind event pushing through the area. So plan on possibly losing power. If you're prone to losing power with windstorms, this is going to be a widespread wind event. So again, high wind warning near the lake shore for Lake, Ashtabula, and Erie County along the lake shore. Highest wind gusts expected there 60, 65, maybe 70 miles an hour. Elsewhere in the wind advisory area, 45, 50 plus mile per hour winds can be expected in the wind advisory area. May cause minor structural damage, may cause trees to fall down, may cause trees to fall down on houses, things like that. And driving might be difficult with high profile vehicles as well with all these gusty winds. With that said, I want to show you this model. This is from GLERAL, the Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory, which is part of NOAA. And we're going to talk about waves on Lake Erie, 20 to 30 feet potentially from the central basin of the lake all the way up to Buffalo. Going to be causing a major, what we call SAISH on the lake tomorrow. So if you're on the western end of the lake, out toward the islands, out to Mama Bay, Toledo area, and Sandusky, Port Clinton, all the water that's out there is going to be pushed toward Buffalo tomorrow. So we're going to see low water conditions out on the western end of the lake, and then out to the east they're going to have major problems in the Buffalo area and southwest New York with high water levels because all the water is being pushed over toward the eastern part of the lake. So I want to show you this graph, and all this is on GLERAL. I can put the I can put this in the chat here, this website, but you can go to GLERAL.NOAA.gov, and this is the forecast water level at Toledo tomorrow. Showing the line right here in the middle is the current activity or the current level, and as the winds start really cranking from the southwest and west tomorrow, it's going to push all that water out of Toledo area, and we're looking at a significant water drop level sometime about midday through the afternoon at Toledo. Here it's suggesting, let's see, just doing some quick math here, the lake could potentially drop 4 to 6 feet out of the Toledo area is how much water is going to be pushed out of the Toledo area off the lake. 4, 5, maybe 6 feet lower. Here in Cleveland, we're kind of in the middle, so we don't see that much of a difference. But potentially here at the like Edgewater Beach area, the water can probably go out about a foot or two lower as the water pushes more toward Buffalo. So don't be surprised we see some lower water levels out at Edgewater Beach, Euclid Beach area, maybe a foot or two lower there. But out in Buffalo, and they're going to have some major problems. They have a lakeshore flood warning, and they're expecting extremely high water levels being pushed out toward the eastern part of Lake Erie. So again, recapping, we got some very active weather, severe weather threat. It's going to be turning windy and warm by tomorrow morning, unusually warm, record temperature warm, and then the potential for damaging wind gusts with the storms later tonight through tomorrow before the cold front pushes through. Can't rule out an isolated tornado or two, especially western Ohio. The western half of Ohio could see that threat. And then continue with the high wind. The storm, after the cold front pushes through, the winds are really going to crank up behind the front and cause some problems midday tomorrow through the afternoon with trees down and power outages, power lines down, things like that. Maybe some structural damage as well. Okay, so I am done with the recap of the severe weather threat and high wind threat. See if you have any questions out there. Let's see. All right. Thanks, Janice, all the way from Texas. Thank you, Janice. All right. All right, let's see. I got some questions here. I'll see if I can scroll back. All right, see. Yeah, Steven says 5% tornado risk. Yeah, that's very unusual for this time of year to see temperatures in the mid-60s, and instead of snow on the ground and snow and winter storm warnings, we have high wind warnings and the threat of tornadoes tonight and tomorrow morning. Very unusual and a lot of wind. So, especially if you live closer to Lakeshore, and if you live anywhere like on higher hilltops, the highlands, central highlands of Ohio, all the way up to the heights, and the heights around the Cleveland area, the hilltops, Seven Hills, Bedford Heights area, anywhere east on the east side where you're higher up in elevation. Prepare for you're going to get the gustier winds, and especially closer to the Lakeshore as well. You're closer to the water, which is a lot less friction near the water, so your winds gusts are going to be higher right along the immediate lake shore. Personally, Lakewood area has a lot of trees, and with wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour potentially, it's going to cause a lot of problems across the region. So just take that into account. Hi, Robert. Thanks for joining us. Michael asked, any type of accumulating snow? Probably not, because we're going to be so warm tomorrow morning with 60-degree temperatures. It's going to be hard to get any kind of accumulation tomorrow evening with that lake effect. It looks like more like just flurries or some light snow showers, but don't expect anything to really cause any accumulations, because we're going to be so warm and humid just several hours before that actually happens. And we're not expecting really cold weather behind us. We'll get a cool down, and then we warm back up real quickly. So it's not like it's a real cold snap after. It's just going to be such a dramatic change, because you're going from record warm temperatures in the 60s to back to the 30s in 12 hours, or 10 to 12 hours. All right. Well, if you have any, good idea, Paul. Keep your phone charged. That's actually a really good idea. If you keep your phone or maybe your battery pack, extra battery pack charged up for tonight in case you do lose power. At least you have your battery or your smartphone and battery backup power handy, just in case you do lose power. All right. All right. Well, anyway, if you have friends and family toward the southwest, Indianapolis, central and southern Illinois, Indiana, western Louisville area, western parts of Kentucky, especially down in the lower Ohio Valley, with that enhanced to moderate risk of severe weather tonight, they are going to have a really rough night with a lot of wind damage and potentially some strong nighttime tornadoes tonight. So hopefully, if you have friends and family down there, send them a text message, give them a little shout out on Facebook or Twitter or social media. Say, hey, you guys pay attention to the weather tonight. Make sure your NOAA radio is turned on, or have a way to get warnings in the middle of the night in case we do have that tornado threat coming through your area or your friends and family down in the lower Ohio Valley. Make sure they're kind of paying attention to the weather. It's one of those nights. We need to pay attention to the weather, but they really need to stay weather aware down in the Ohio Valley region tonight. It's going to be kind of dangerous. All right, so that's it for us right now. And we may do another one of these later this evening. Me and my coworker Alexa are working here through the night tonight, and we have more staff coming in after later on tonight to help with the severe weather threat. We'll be here monitoring the severe weather, and going to be keeping on top of things here and keeping you safe and issuing those appropriate watches and warnings as needed. So if you have any questions, feel free to put those on social media. We'll be checking throughout the night. And until then, stay safe and have a good Friday evening. Bye.